So we're doing arts and crafts.
We got soap on a rope. I thought it was a pretty simple concept. Apparently not. So I was born in Philadelphia. Lived there. Oh my god. I make this like impossible. Lived there until I was like 6 or 7. And then we moved to Jersey. Arts were always big in my life. My brother's a musician. My grandmother sang. And so like music and theater were always kind of like just always part of my life.
Were you a musical theater high school kid?
I was terrible. I had one role that was actually like notable, which was I played Charlie in Willy Wonka my senior year.
I love that for you.
I've done Godspell twice now, as the same part both times. So the part is Jeffrey, although in middle school I played Jeffrey / Judas because it was a junior version, so I played Judas and they also wanted me to sing We Beseech Thee, so they were like,
why do people make
both.
junior versions of anything is my question.
That's a discussion for another day. And then in high school I played the same part. I was in Sound of Music. I played Kurt. But here's the thing. So
is that the one that likes to do the school play? Isn't there one that's like in the play and he like doesn't tell his dad, but then
this is not the Sound of Music.
It is, and then
it's not.
And then Maria comes to the, is that her name?
Comes to the school play?
Yeah.
Is that in the movie?
I guess so.
Sure as hell isn't in the show. In the show, it's pretty much all like nuns, nuns, nuns. I'm gonna teach you how to sing, and then the Nazis come.
Carrie Underwood?
Since time has passed, my voice has actually settled a bit higher. But like, right when my voice changed, I was like bass, like hardcore bass. So I was shorter, pudgier. Now imagine me walking, longer hair, which is a story for another time. Walking in this audition room, no one knew me, and I was like, yeah, hi, I'm Damien, and I'm gonna be singing If Ever I Would Leave You from Camelot. And then like this big bass voice just comes out. And they're like, let's cast him as the youngest Von Trapp kid who has to sing in falsetto the whole show. And then my sophomore year I did a show called Disco Inferno. If you ever saw Disaster?
I've not, but I know what this is.
It's like the disaster part of it, but not the fun. So like I played a DJ named Terry who like worked at the local club, who was just important enough to be the main character's best friend, but not important enough to have a song. And I wore platform shoes.
Well, there's that.
Leather pants. And you bet your ass I was probably wearing eyeliner.
Please tell me there's a photo of that.
There's a video.
Where do I get it?
Nope.
Is it on the internet?
Somewhere.
I'm gonna find it. I just would like to know if you'd like to take responsibility for this. We'll put it in bigger, but...
So...
in the brooding look.
Yeah, okay.
From Till Death Do Us Part.
That is a suave look because I played Juan, a Hispanic suave worm, who was in the ear of this zombie telling him how to pick up chicks. And if that's not going to win a Tony, I don't know what is. Juan.
And then you went to college for...
theater. Cut your soap base into 1 square. Okay, into 1 inch square.
So you don't just microwave the chunk? Is that correct? Like when you cube butter to microwave it?
Let's read further. The plan was to be a playwright and a director, actually. And somehow I ended up doing sound and music, so I don't know, go figure.
Why?
Well, I've always done music. That was always a part of my life. That doesn't look like a square.
It will.
Yeah, no, I was a music director in high school. There we go. And the directing is still there. I still do it from time to time. But I haven't written a play since college. They're all dramas. They're all shitty. And they're all about coming out of the closet. Do you think I had something to hide? Do you think I had something to like work out? I think that's how that works, because you pour the melted into the mold.
This doesn't look like it would fit in there if it was melted.
When you melt it, it'll fit perfectly.
Listen,
according to
you know how science works?
These directions. Did I make the rules?
I guess not.
My freshman year, they had just started this student theater company. This director was like, I need a sound designer for my piece because it takes place in an elevator and it's all about music. And I was like, I can pretend I know what I'm doing. Oh, it's probably better if I cut it this way. And so that was my first sound design, and then I never looked back. Can I get paid to do this? The answer for a while was no. But it soon became yes. So hire me.
The end.
No. Wait, stop, clear. Look at that. Wait, hold on a sec. Open the glitter packet. Oh my god.
Where do you feel like you are now in your like geographical, emotional map of theater making?
If you asked me this a year ago, I would have been like, I'm right where anyone in their early 20s would be. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm just floundering and hoping someone likes what I do. And I still feel that way, mostly. It just now I have a New York credit to me, which is super weird because I feel horrifically unqualified to be like, I've got an off-Broadway show under my belt. Like a commercial off-Broadway show under my belt. I feel like I like where I'm headed, but I still feel like I don't know how to take the next step in my career. Like I feel like I'm at a point where I'm like, this is a great trajectory, but I also feel like I'm not going anywhere. But then I meet up with people and they're like, oh my god, you're doing so great. And I'm like, is this what succeeding is? I feel like I should feel like I'm further ahead than I am, or that like I should feel like better about where I'm at in life.
But you don't have a money gig, do you?
No, I've been lucky up until now to just get by on theater. And not all of that is theater that, you know, feeds my soul. I'm very stubborn. And so the fact that I don't currently don't have to have something else in order to pay rent is like, as stupid as it sounds, like a point of pride for me at this point.
Definitely.
But that's not serving me, which is scary because then it's like a question of like, okay, do I trust that at some point inevitably someone's going to last minute need a sound designer? I do a lot of emailing to people, sending my resume out, trying to peddle myself.
Just like on a Tuesday, hey, Blanka Zizka, here's my resume.
Well, I mean, usually I'll send my resume to places I've seen their work. So like if I've seen a show and I'm like, that was really good, I really enjoyed that, I will send an email that it's like, I really enjoyed the show, here's why, here's what I loved about it, I would love a chance to be involved with you guys in any way possible. Here's my resume if you guys have an opening or any sort of thing. Not that anyone ever responds to that shit. The more I meet people and actually talk to them, the better it is, the better I become at explaining what I do. I'm still getting better at, I still need to work on like how to put that in like cover letter.
Cover letters are garbage.
You know, I also think for theater, I don't want to say they're useless because somewhere in the world, theater professors everywhere are like, don't say that. Oh, wow. But like, I just don't think that's how we get work. I think that we get work by seeing work, by talking with people who do work, and just by being there when they need someone to do something that may not be in our discipline.
So don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an asshole. There are too many assholes out there who are getting great work and shouldn't be, but that's a conversation for another day. Not in front of a camera. It's
like a tab running on the side of conversations for another day.
Yeah. Sidebar kind of, I was watching this TV show One Day at a Time, which is a Netflix remake of an older show that was groundbreaking at its time because it's about a single mom raising a family and things like that, and everyone was like, that's impossible, how do you, whatever. So the Netflix version is a Cuban family, and I was like, I resonate with this, like this is like literally my life, I understand this. And the daughter doesn't speak Spanish. And so like, that was a big thing. And also, she, as far as everyone can tell, like no one thinks she's Hispanic because she's white. So I made a post on Facebook about the show and how like it's important for representation. And I was like, I wish that when I was a kid there was something that was mainstream media that was like what it means to be Cuban, or like had Cubans at the forefront, because I was like, this has like been my whole life and like what I've been searching for. I shit you not, I wake up the next morning to an invitation to a Facebook group for Latinx theater people in Philly. And I was like, but no, because here's the thing, no one knew I was Cuban, or I guess, or never thought about it.
Yeah.
And so then I made this post, and suddenly it's like, we're going to invite you to our group, and suddenly it's like, suddenly inclusive, and I was like, yeah. like the group is a private group, but I think that that's helpful and also hurtful in the way that it's like people who are Latino or Latina and just don't know it's there can't use it as a resource.
So if you're Latinx, this is your calling card. Comment below and Damien will add you. What's your favorite thing about what you do?
Specifically with sound, I love music. I don't know, and so I just get to explore that and like look at many different genres of music and different artists and different whatever. It's like a history lesson through music that I get every show I work on, because every show I work on is a different style, a different whatever, and so I get to like immerse myself in that.
We met on Secretaries, which was a show in Gay Fest. I remember like there were cues that you had to like create because they didn't exist.
Oh my god. The wombat thing in that, I love to tell that story. So there's a sequence where they're driving in the car, and this was before I knew what the fuck I was doing, so I was like, I'm just guessing and throwing shit up there. At a point, so they run over a wombat, and then like the wombat is still alive and like behind the car, and she gets out and then she like beats the wombat to death, and then there's this weird like hallucination sequence, which is still my favorite to talk about because like I just remember being like, I wonder how fucked up I can make this. And I was like, wouldn't it be great if we hear the dying wombat?
It was so, like, horrific, but also amazing.
Who did the wombat voice?
I don't think so.
Caitlin? I was like, hey, so I'm recording stuff for Secretaries, and do you want to like do a voiceover thing for me? And she was like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay, you gotta be a dying wombat.
Caitlin is his partner.
Yeah. Oh, man. And that was, oh god, that was only a few months after we started dating.
It's by the 5 lesbian brothers, which y'all should look up.
Lisa Crone, who wrote Fun Home.
It's so good. What is the kind of work that you want to put out into the world?
I like ensemble-based stuff. For me, I hate with a burning passion the standard like boy-girl romance story. That's done. I hate that. I hate the typical kitchen sink drama. I'm over it. If as an audience member and as a designer, if I'm on the team and I don't know where something's going and I'm genuinely surprised by it, that's awesome. Shows that have genuinely surprised me in the past like season or two, in Philly in particular, The Gap. I walked in knowing nothing about the show and was genuinely surprised at how they used the space and the text and how that all the story evolved and things like that. Also in Iliad at the Lantern, one of the best productions I've seen.
So what are you enjoying right now, theatrically or just in life?
I'm enjoying meeting new people. Like that's exciting for me. This year's been like a bunch of people I've never worked with before, which has been super awesome. Because they all work so differently that I can't even compare them. Which has been nice because it's gotten me out of my shell a bit in terms of like, I know I design like this. I've been watching a lot of new TV shows. I started watching new show called Episodes.
You know what's really good? I just watched End of the Fucking World.
Yes. The OA.
Oh yes, you were telling me about that.
That's the kind of shit that vibes with me. In terms of both use of music and also just like weird shit. Has it been an hour?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm not gonna pull that.
I feel like the 20-something years in the theater are like just like swimming around in I don't know what, like Jello.
Yeah.
And it's like I've never really heard people talk about like I feel like you grow up and you're like, oh yeah, my 20s are my like lost years.
Well, you know why
what?
It's because everyone towards the end of their 20s goes to grad school.
Yeah, that's true.
And they come back and like, I'm a person and I've been a person my whole life. And you're like, that's not true. There was a time where you were like 22 in a bar, totally shit-faced, being like, you know what show I want to write? Let's do a musical. I think, so one of the things that I think is important, and this is something that, so I'm an early career member of the Theater Sound Designer Composer Association, and one of the things that they're, TSDCA, so that started up as a kind of a response to the Tonys being like, no more Tonys for sound people, but there's a bunch of like education resources through them, and like they share job opportunities, things like that, and are very like transparent. Like I was scrolling through the Facebook group today for them, and literally it was like one of the posts was like tech table still life, and it was like, here's the tech table for Carousel on Broadway because I'm there right now. And it was like, well, all right. Someone else was like, this is the tech table for the Olympics. I'm the associate sound designer in the Olympics. But like, so the point is like to create like a resource for especially young designers to have some sort of like connection with people, to be like, let's build connections. Like let's talk to each other, let's see each other's work. Even if it's just like a post on Facebook. Early theater career needs to be a viable option for people because right now it's not.
I feel like that's definitely it.
And I think that like there are people in their 20s who have such awesome ideas for shows and awesome ideas for like the way that theater should be and what their theater is and how they want to create it that don't get to do it. Literally don't get to do it. And then they get they go through this time breaking their back, and they're like, you know what, maybe fine, I'll go to grad school, I'll figure out what I don't know now, and find a way to get a job there. And they come out and they're like, and now everything is by formula. And it's like, well, where were all the cool ideas you had like 10 years ago? Now you've got financial support. Do those. Or do the ones that you know will be safe and will make money. And
so I think like Directors Gathering is starting to do this with their first year of the Directors Gathering Fellows. Which hopefully will grow further and further in their following years to do that sort of supportive work.
I mean, also shout out to the Philadelphia Design Center. They're also doing similar stuff for designers. Now they've started to find their footing and grow, which is good. They've got resources for sound people now.
Well, we did these soaps.
And ropes.
Like kind of pretty hard now. Ooh.
Oh. Break it. All right.
We did it.
Soap on a rope.
Soap on a rope. The Make It Mine, create your own soap on a rope.
Where'd you get it?
AC Moore. This was like...
You heard it here, folks. AC Moore.
8 out of 10, I would say.
I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. Just to be an asshole.
I was going to say why. Great.
7.5.
Soap on a rope.